Notes from Melanie is a new short film written, directed, and produced by fellow YouTube movie reviewer Chris Stuckmann, who is also pursuing a career in filmmaking. Chris Stuckmann is a huge influence on not only me, but a lot of other fellow YouTube reviewers in this community. Smaller channels like myself really look up to Chris as inspiration. He's gotten me to think about films in ways that I've never thought about films before. Coming down to the editing, the camera work, the cinematography, things like that, where I used to say, oh, I hated this because it's bad. He's the type of person who will review a film and tell you all about the filmmaking process. And that's what I attempt to do on this channel. You could even say that I kind of model my reviews after Chris, and I guess that's how much he inspired me. And I know I shouldn't do that because it's kind of replicating somebody else's work, and I'm gonna try and break away from that starting in 2020 and do kind of my own thing. I think that speaks volumes to how influential Chris is as a YouTube movie reviewer. Now he gets to pursue his lifelong dream of creating a film. This is a short film. It's called Notes from Melanie. He has another short film out there called Auditorium 6. I have yet to see Auditorium 6. He also said that he is in the middle of trying to get a feature film made. I don't know if he's adapting this as a feature-length film or if he's adapting Auditorium 6 as a feature-length film or if he's creating an entirely new idea. Whatever it may be, I wish him the best of luck doing that. Now let's review Notes for Melanie. As I've said, Notes for Melanie is a short film by Chris Stuckmann. The struggling screenwriter Joe Link, he gets notes and tips about a new screenplay he is writing that may not be all that great. He gets notes and tips from a fellow friend and fellow screenwriter and former partner of his, Melanie, and she tells him what exactly he has to do to try and make a better movie from this script. This is a very, very, very fantastic short film. This is probably the first short film I've ever seen. I'm going to be completely honest with you on that. For a film that is 20 minutes, I think Chris really nails it. There is a lot of good direction here. I especially love the camera work in one scene. There's Joe and Melanie having an exchange of dialogue towards the end. Instead of doing the usual cut back and forth between the two characters talking where it's not one long continuous break, Chris does something really unique with the camera. He has the shot set at the both of them, so we see them both in frame, but when one of them is talking, he'll move the camera to focus on one of them, and then when we hear the other one talking, there won't be a cut. He will pan the camera over to the other one talking. And this goes on for maybe like a minute, minute and a half, and I thought it was a really unique way of showing us how there are different ways to portray dialogue on screen instead of just a regular cut back and forth to both characters. It really added more impact to that scene, I feel like, because it's Joe in that scene dealing with his inner struggle and coming to the realization that I can make a better script. And I thought that the way that Chris moved the camera in that scene really improved the impact and the motivation and the realization that Joe got in that scene. The short film is also very funny in some parts. There's a cameo by the Flick Pick. Every time he came on screen, he actually makes a cameo with Matthew Brando in one part too, another one of Chris's friends. Anytime the Flick Pick was on screen, I was dying laughing. Like, you see the set design for this short film. I don't know what the budget for this film was that Chris had to work with, but the production design is really good. I want one of those fake posters. Like, Chris, can you send me like a fake poster? Preferably Alien Stalker. I loved watching the brief clips, like Melanie just chastising Joe for like writing those movies, and then be like, what, like, Alien Stalker was beloved by everybody. we just see the Flick Pick in the jungle. Like, it's a spoof. I love how those movies are like those like fake movies. Like, there's movie posters like Alien Stalker, Insect Man, Jurassic Universe, Mission Possibly. I love how that they were basically just spoofs of movie franchises. Like somebody just give John Flickinger all his Oscars for his short cameos. I was laughing because I was like, I want those movies to be made. And like, it's such a smart idea that Chris actually went that route and was like, you know what, let's just, instead of creating like new posters for like movies that don't exist, let's do that, but let's kind of make them spoofs. That I thought was brilliant. And I just thought, I love how the character of Joe is kind of full of himself. He's just like, yeah, these movies are beloved by everybody. I love when Melanie chastises him. She's like, you know, you have like this villain and then all of a sudden aliens come in? Yeah, on page 95. It's just such great dialogue. It's so witty, and it says a lot to who these characters are. Yeah, Joe thinks he's a hotshot. Thinks that he writes great movies, even though they're not the greatest things ever. He thinks a lot of people like them. Melanie is very concerned for him. She believes he's not tapping into the best of his ability. She believes he's not tapping into his full potential, and she wants to really see that in him. And there's a past there with the two of them, and that's kind of I wouldn't say an issue with the short film, but maybe a nitpick. I understand why it's in here, because it is a short film, and you kind of have to flesh out the characters as much as you can in as little time. But Joe and Melanie used to be a thing. There was a relationship there. They used to date. I had somewhat of a problem with that. I understand why it's in here, again, because it's a short film, limited time. Because I feel like that's been done many times before. Joe and Melanie, why aren't they just really, like, good friends? Like, childhood friends that have that brother and sisterly bond. Two friends that feel like they're siblings. I think that that's how their relationship should play out. Other than that, I really, really like this alien stalker. Great cameo by the Flick Pig. Witty dialogue, great directing by Chris Stuckmann. I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. Wasn't sure if I was going to grade this. I didn't want to give it a letter grade because it's not a feature length, but in all fairness, I'm going to give it a grade because I grade all the other stuff that I do, and I really think Chris has a huge future in filmmaking. I can't wait to see what else he does. I really want to see Auditorium 6. I know he said it's being released on a horror anthology Blu-ray. Can't wait to see that. Can't wait to see what his feature film is that he's trying to get made. Thank you for watching my review of Chris Stuckmann's Notes from Melanie. You guys are the best. I will leave the link to Notes from Melanie in the description below. Check it out. It's about 20 minutes. It's a really good short film. I hope you guys enjoy it. I will also leave my link to my website in the description below. There you can find all my links to my social media accounts. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.